Welcome, Degens. It is time for our State of the NFT Union number 5. What is on the agenda today, Queen of Degens?
We have got a bunch of different things on the agenda, such as an update on Yuga, Toad Mode, and a new project that they're doing. We've got some Overlord updates because creeps are not sleeping. Meta Residence 1, we're going to talk real estate again. We've got some Apple VR, Heterosis, which is a brand new project. And then we're going to wrap things up with a little ChatGPT and Elon Musk's thoughts on it.
We always have to talk about Elon Musk because every week he does something chaotic. Anyway, let's get started. So if you are new here, we are Probably Degens, and we do content on Web3, NFTs, the metaverse, what is happening in future tech. And with that, let's get into the first topic of the day. Queen of Degens, take it away. What is going on with BAYC and Toad Mode?
They have wrapped it up. So as of March 1st, Toad Mode has been completed. So through their roadmap here, we have just completed All Toads Licked, game over. So just a quick refresher. The sewer opened back on February 8th. We had a few weeks of gameplay. That closed, and then they took some time to verify scores, lock them up so that we have the winners. And then the whole purpose of Toad Mode was to see if you could get one of the top 2,500 scores to essentially get a companion trait for what is next, the summoning. So how this worked was, you guys saw the demo of the game last week, where the top 500 runs, so like the longest time that you play the game, will actually get one of these companion passes or companion traits. And then the top 2,000 toad scores, so the number of toads that you ran into, will also get one of those companion traits. So that is where things stand with Toad Mode. It just finished, and we have until March 8th before the summoning. So we'll see how like hype people get with the prices for these passes, because the winner of this first, just like the sewer game for Dookie Dash, that pass for the winning ticket sold for $1.5 million within this past week. So
Woo!
A lot going on with Yuga as per huge.
So do we have any idea what the summoning is?
The summoning, so I don't know if the summoning is burning this ticket, but it somehow mutates into a new NFT, I believe. I think it's a new. So they're pretty valuable. It's turning into something.
Okay.
And I think the companion trait is supposed to give you extra utility for gameplay. So they have some sort of value. We don't know what they will do yet. It's just something that will have increased value as you make your way through the roadmap. So that's what they have been doing up until the latest project that they have, which is called Twelvefold. So they are getting into the ordinals. If you're not familiar with ordinals, you can take a look at the ordinal theory overview, but this is the buzzy Bitcoin sort of NFT projects that people are talking about. And Yuga is going to do a 300-piece collection sometime within the next few weeks. So it is a 12 art system on a 12 by 12 grid, which is a visual allegory for the cartography of data on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's kind of the meaning behind it. 3D elements. These are the only teaser images that I've seen. And then if we go to the official website here, there's not a ton of information. So we just have the homepage here and then the FAQs. So the FAQs, again, tells a little bit about the 300 generative pieces. It is going to be inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's pretty exciting. You do need to have Bitcoin and a wallet set up to receive this if you want to participate in the auction process. These are auctions. This talks a little bit.
I was going to ask how you get on the WL. You can't.
Yeah. What do I need to participate in the auction? Yeah, so you have to have a self-custodial wallet that contains the Bitcoin and then an empty address to receive. And so the reason that they're saying to set up a separate address so you don't accidentally touch the specific part of that Bitcoin that has, the ordinal inscription on it. So you just want to keep it totally separate so you don't mess it up, basically. Resources to prepare is just, have your Bitcoin stuff ready to go. And more questions, they say that they'll have more information at least 24 hours prior. And that information hasn't been released yet. So I don't know when this is actually going to drop, but probably sometime relatively soon. And what I love about this is people took to Twitter about the artist behind it because they were very, very vague in the FAQs, just saying it's crafted in-house by YugaLabs art team. And Tropo here is like, feels a little soulless, not knowing who the artist is. And Garga coming through saying OG 3D Atelier, and his name rhymes with Smiggy. So that's very obviously Figgy here. And if you're not familiar with who Figgy is, content officer at Yuga, and then was formerly the co-founder for We Knew. We Knew was a partnership with Beeple, and they were behind the 10 KTF project that YugaLabs acquired. So it's all kind of coming together. Figgy is amazing. Met him IRL. So really pumped to see what happens with Twelvefold here. But TBD.
I feel like this is about to become really chaotic.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like the whole Twitter feed is going to be Twelvefold.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see like when we get all the information for when the auction happens. What's gonna happen here? I mean, they're gonna go for an outrageous price. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we don't know how the auction's gonna work. So, but those are the updates for the world of Yuga right now. So what do you got?
What do I got? Well, first of all, I think that Web3 gaming is red hot. I know that we are in a technology bear market right now, not only in the crypto space, but also in the Web2 space. Everybody's getting laid off everywhere. But the one area that seems to be showing a lot of promise right now is gaming, in specific Web3 blockchain based gaming, as well as VR gaming, which, we've got centralized products like Meta happening. Anyway, you just went over what is going on with YugaLabs and their gaming initiative, but we have to touch upon, which I keep talking about every single week now, Overlord, because I feel like it is about to get real crazy out here. Anyway, yeah, so Overlord, today they had their migration, their upgrade for their creeps. So what happened was you had to go and take your creep over to this website here. It says overlord.xyz/exchange. And you did have to pay a bit of a gas fee. So they recommend that you do it when gas is low. I've already done it, but you press this button down here and you basically migrate your creeps over into a upgraded new contract. So this went flawlessly today. This is a flawless execution, which I think is super impressive. And I have to give props to the founders, Joe and Dom, for their expertise in being able to pull this off, because this is very complicated. And even having, tech knowledge, it was as good of a user experience as it could have been. It's still a little bit rough around the edges. You have to pay a gas fee. You have to understand that your creeps are going to disappear for a minute and they're going to show up again on OpenSea at some point. So you need to have like a little bit of a background to like understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a very good process. They haven't had any hiccups. Everything is going smoothingly. Is that a word, smoothingly? I just made it a word. So what are the benefits of doing this upgrade?
Yeah.
So right now, all of your creeps characters are soft staked already. So if I come into my dashboard here, I can see my squad and I can see that my characters are staked like they were on the previous site. But soft staked means that they haven't been pulled out of my wallet. They are staked through some other mechanism that they have come up with, which means that I can still come onto OpenSea or Blur or whatever exchange that this is on and see that this creep is owned by me, and it will appear in the marketplace. Benefit to that is that these statistics are now correct. And this has been a big pain point for the project because previously it has looked like
a poor performer.
What poor performer. It's looked like one giant wallet has owned the entire collection, because when we originally staked all of our Creepz characters, they all went over into the Creepz Overlord wallet for the staking. And that makes people on the outside of the project very suspicious when they look at data, whether it's here on OpenSea or if they go into like NFTgo.io and look at statistics. It looks pretty shady. So now we're going to get the statistics coming back in the right direction. I really think this is going to help out the project. Really excited to see what's going to happen. You can see that of the 11,111 Creepz that were originally in the project, only 2,587 have been migrated over so far. They did say that you can migrate over at your leisure. Again, like wait for gas fees to be low when you're going to do it. I have ants in my pants and couldn't wait to see the user experience. So I paid about $20 earlier
ants,
to do it.
Ants in your pants / opinions to give, perhaps.
I had to know. I thought about doing it live on the show today. I was too nervous that something was going to get exposed or it was going to go wrong. But yeah, it went fine. They migrated. It did take, just so everybody knows, when I first migrated it over, I came into my wallet and I was like, where is it? I don't see my Creepz here. And then I came onto the OpenSea site and went looking for my traits to like bring my character up, and it wasn't there. And I had like a mild panic attack for about 15 minutes where I was like, they got burned or they got swiped away. I don't know. They disappeared and it's all over, but they eventually showed up. So there might be a little bit of a delay to see. I mean, I probably could have gone either scan and like seen the updated info, but I didn't do that. I was just looking at the GUI here. So remember that when you go to migrate, they're there. It just might take a minute. Okay, so that was the soft staking bit that I was talking about, which is a benefit of the upgrade. Other things that are going to happen with this upgrade, they're going to be able to build new features out faster and scale the project better, which is part of the reason they wanted to do it. What the technology is behind that, I'm not sure, but they felt like they needed to go ahead and do it. I see. Let's go from duty blackout. Yeah, right. Lizard, lag me. Lizards are gonna make it, right? Also, this is now cross-chain, which means that Creepz are no longer tied to just Ethereum. They are chain agnostic, and they did that in order to future-proof the project because, let's be honest, the space moves at lightning fast speed, and we just do not know what blockchains are going to become prominent in the upcoming years. So they have a 10-year outlook for this project, as they have said many times in their AMAs, and they wanted to make sure that Creepz is able to be cross-chain so that they can build it however they want to moving forward. And then another really cool upgrade that happened are these genetic cards. So once you do upgrade your Creepz and you see it back on OpenSea, there's now this little spinny button. Yeah. So this is the first time I've seen this. And if anybody watching or wants to mention in the comment section if they've seen it somewhere else, do let me know, because as far as I know, this is a new technology integration with OpenSea. You can flip the card, your NFT now, and see your genetic card. And what's on here right now isn't anything special compared to everybody else's, but they say that these are eventually going to show your IP identity, which is names and more. What's more, I don't know. Collector badges, your stats, which are to be announced, and your token stats. So it sounds like the tokenomics is coming back pretty soon, and we'll be able to see those token stats attached to our characters, which is pretty cool.
And you said that this is an OpenSea feature. It's not project specific.
Wait, say that again. Okay, so I think it's
is this feature, like clicking that arrow obviously is an
Mhm.
OpenSea feature, but do all other NFTs have like stats like that now? They're just pulling data and displaying it that way, or is that Creepz
No,
specific?
I think this is Crease specific as far as I know. This is
Very
something
cool.
that they've worked on with them to get
With them,
launched.
got it.
Yeah. So
Cool.
very cool, very exciting to see,
Yeah.
they're innovating in the space. I am super, super jazzed about this. So the last reason for the upgrade is they will be enforcing royalties in order to keep growing the project. They um, want to keep bringing in money so that they can continue to have that to work with, because so far they've been able to do amazing things with the royalties that they've earned. So I am super, super excited. I feel like if people are still sleeping on Creepz, they need to figure it out fast, because I think it's about to blast off. We also got earlier a couple of tweets, one from Joe saying, this is one of the founders, saying, shifting gear, break the internet time. Are you ready, Dom? That's the co-founder of Creepz. And Tom responded back, if only they knew, comrade, let's do this. So I was hoping while we were live right now, maybe they were going to drop a bomb on us, but I don't see any notifications here in my Twitter, which is, I get the Overlord notifications. So I don't think it's happened yet. It's probably going to happen like right when we're done. And then I'm going to be so PO'd because we could have talked about it. But anyway, something really, really big is about to happen. And I hope that this project just blows up overnight and I can be really cocky and be like, I knew it this whole time. I knew from the beginning, from day one. So
I mean, I feel like
those are my
the
dreams.
the game is going to have to be so great with how fun the whole, just Lumi as a whole. I just will never forget that moment in time, losing our minds over Lumi and just like not even playing the game yet.
That was the longest I've ever gone without sleep. I think I went 3 days.
Yeah,
I
we were
was like,
unwell.
I was not well. And you know what? I think it like hit some really deep dopamine receptors in my brain, because I can't turn away from Creepz now. Like, it locked me in. It's like an addiction that I can't break.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I
So
feel you.
since we're here, and since I'm not sure that we've ever done a glue sniff rating system on Creepz or Overlord, let's do it. So as of right now, on a scale of 1 glue sniff to 3 glue sniffs, 1 being you would have to only sniff a little bit of glue to buy into this project right now at the price it is today, which is almost 2 ETH, to 3 glue sniffs being you'd have to be glue sniffed out of your freaking mind to buy this. You'd have to be totally crazy. Where do you stand on the glue sniff scale?
I'm a 1 sniffer. 1 sniff. That's it. That's all it takes.
I agree. 1 sniff. I mean, we knew that was going to happen, but
Yeah.
I felt like we had to do it. So
Yeah.
what's next?
We're going to go in a totally different direction. We're going to take a look at some real estate. So I thought that we did an episode on a project called Meta Mansions, and maybe it was in like a wrap up of some project, but that's a real estate project that I had come across that I thought was maybe a rug. This one is totally different. So here's an article that came out recently by the New York Times talking about this mansion that is being built currently in Miami. It is 11,000 square foot mansion with 7 bedrooms and a pool in Pinecrest, Miami. And what makes this house different is it comes with its own parcel of digital land. So I'm kind of in love with this concept, I'll be honest. One, because I think the house looks pretty great. I love that it is clearly under construction and is almost done. And I think the bidding for this project starts sometime this month in March. So it's coming up. I'm really interested and curious to see how this is all going to play out. Not a ton of information on the site. What we do know is that the 3D property was done by Voxel Architects, which definitely seen their name in the space for some of these 3D architecture projects before.
Mhm.
And they paid $10,000 for the plot of land in Sandbox. So a complete replica of this house will be in the Sandbox as well. Bidding is fairly easy. So if anybody is interested in what an $11,000 or 11,000 square foot home is,
Going for.
yeah, I don't know, but you are required to have at least 50 ETH in your wallet to register.
It's a
So
little
it's
bit
pretty
change.
easy to get on the list. You just have to follow them, submit your email address, and then connect a wallet that has 50 ETH in it. And then you're on the list to find out what happens next. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a few videos that you can see of the interior, and let me see if I can find it. These are just the renderings, but there's the construction worker, or not the construction worker, the contractor who's behind the project. He's definitely designed this space. So this is like his car, which is a little over the top. But they've designed the space definitely to
Just a
be
little bit.
for entertaining. There was a video on the site somewhere that has like a walkthrough. Maybe they posted it on Twitter of the house. And as soon as you walk in, they actually have huge recessed squares on the walls so that you can go ahead and mount a digital frame so you can proudly display your NFTs. So I feel like whoever buys this NFT in this house, it's definitely it's for a, like, not a business purpose, it's for to use in the space. Like, I just don't think that you're gonna spend this amount of money on a place in Miami, both IRL and digital, for it to not be some sort of degen haven. I don't know, but what what are your thoughts on an IRL house and the NFT companion?
I like the idea. I'm very sus about the giant expensive mansion as like
Mhm.
a prototype.
Yeah.
Whenever I see something a little too extravagant as like the first attempt, I'm like, this isn't gonna go well.
Yeah, and it's called the Meta Residence 1. So based on the name, it's like, I'm assuming they're gonna try to do a 2 and a 3, and really just,
Yeah, good luck.
yeah, but
I feel like if you did it as like condos, it would probably work. Like,
yeah.
oh, we're gonna you're gonna mint a condo in this building and get the NFT with it. I don't know. I just
I
feel
feel like
like
there's
it's too big.
yeah, there's not it's not like a fine line, but there are a few different, I feel like, projects kind of trying the same thing, whether it's your NFT is a membership to get into like a really exclusive club, or it gives you access to this condo building, or it gives you access to this restaurant. Um, this one's just a little different. The fact that it's a real house and then you have like the digital version. It's not like, the paperwork is on contract. It's just kind of like you're getting a house and a NFT. I don't know. You really have to, I think, know what you're doing in the digital realm to make use of a purchase like this. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll definitely keep a lookout as it releases more information over the course of the month.
I can't wait to see how this one goes and
Yep.
be right and be right about it.
Yeah.
So, what else do we have to talk about? Oh, yes. Apple. So, start stacking your coins because Apple VR is coming. If you are not familiar with the way that Apple does things, they historically watch everybody else do it, learn from everybody else's mistakes, and then release the product that trumps all of the other people trying to do the same thing. This is what they've done forever. So I'm an ancient dinosaur and remember when Palm Pilots and Blackberries were on the scene and Motorola Razors and that Motorola flip phone that like pops out like this. They just silently watched everybody screw up with their product and made the iPhone, which just blew everything else away. And they've done this again with so many products at this point. It's off the charts. So don't be surprised when later this year, Apple releases their VR headset and it's going to blow your mind. I can already tell you they don't mess around. Every single giant product release from
Yeah.
Apple has been incredible. The interesting news that I'm about to talk about here is that it has leaked that they are already working on their second VR set and they haven't even released the first one. So the rumor is,
Amazing.
so here's a hypothetical prototype. I don't know if this is really good, what it's going to look like. I feel usually the leaks of what they're going to release are way off. So take this with a grain of salt. I used to be a giant Apple fangirl and read all these underground blogs about products they were working on
Yeah.
and see like prototypes for what the iPhone was going to be, and they were always way off. So I think this looks too much like the Oculus, and it's probably going to look a lot different. They really will innovate the crap out of it. So the first version of it, though, is supposed to have the M2 chip in it. Apple's chips that they have started making. They just released the M2 chip. It is inside of the MacBook Air. And it is rumored that the reason that they've already started working on this second headset is because the processing power for VR where they want it to be isn't powerful enough for the first version of the headset for what they want to accomplish, because they want to do some like really crazy stuff where like it feels like a person that you're FaceTiming is in front of you, like Jetson style, like in the room with you, like crazy stuff. How they're going to accomplish that, I don't know, but I'm very excited to see how it works. So in order to get there, they have to do in this new headset, this new headset that's not out, the version 2, an M3 or M4 chip, maybe multiple chips in order to get there, which is super cool. I am really curious also to see what Apple does with, if anything, with blockchain integration. I know that they will bend to the public demand. I don't know yet if digital ownership in a VR space has hit the mainstream and what the consumers think about this idea or how they're going to approach it. Maybe they're going to make their own blockchain. I could see that happening. I just don't know. But I am excited to see at least the product piece of what they're going to make, like the hardware. And also, it's been said that this will not need your iPhone in order to connect, which is going to be another plus compared to every other VR headset, which requires you to either plug into a PC or use your iPhone to connect. This is a standalone device, the way it should be. As a UX pro, I agree with that decision. This should be the product that doesn't need anything else attached to it to work. You should just put it on and go. So that is a rumor.
Wow.
What are your thoughts about it?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it come out. I think that whatever the, physical product will be, the design will be incredible, and then other vendors will be working to rip that off. But yeah, it's about time they get into the space for sure. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to evolve with it.
The fact that they've delayed it so many times leads me to believe that they're working on something super spectacular, because they just won't put anything out the door until it's chef's kiss. Which is why they have me locked into their ecosystem and I can't escape.
Yeah.
It keeps me broke. So
yep. Always. Well, last project that I wanted to talk about is called Heterosis. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful project. And there's a few really cool things about it. First of all, I've never been on this marketplace before, og.art. Really cool site. I've connected my wallet. And when I did that, it told me, so I'm on the wait list for this project. It told me that I have some chance of buying just based on a few metrics of data that I gave it. Because they have an allow list here that will walk through in just a second. So this is a unique flower hybridization experience in which participants can cultivate their own bespoke animated NFT flowers. So what happens is you actually mint a flower here, and based on like the properties of your flower or properties or traits that you like of someone else's flower, you can pay whatever price the owner of that NFT like names their price, and you can go ahead and purchase those. You're not purchasing the traits, you're not purchasing the flower, but you're purchasing the ability to basically cross pollinate the two flowers. And so I, as the owner of this NFT, now get a new NFT. The first one is burned and it generates a new NFT that is a combination of the traits
Oh,
between the two flowers.
digital GMO flowers.
Yeah. And what's really cool about this project, and I don't know how this works, is they say that you can easily reverse the process as well. So I guess maybe if you generate a flower that you don't like, then you can revert it back to its original. What's really, really interesting about this is the artist behind it. Here he is, Matt Collishaw. His grandfather was, he hybridized flowers for a living. So he grew up like aware of like that this could be really rewarding, seeing what happens when you cross pollinate some of these species, which is really cool. And then also he is an artist, has a very fascinating background. He participated in the Freeze Group show, which I was not familiar with, but this was organized by none other than Damien Hirst in 1988. So
Yeah.
this guy is a really, really amazing artist. And so upon minting, the DNA gives you a combination of traits. The owner can select any other flower as a second parent to hybridize, and you just have to pay the second owner's fee. Child flower is generated. You can either replace or keep. The second parent flower is not affected in any way. And then partner NFT collections and projects give the Heterosis NFTs their unique traits. So the flowers will only have a few basic traits, but through the hybridization, you start to get some of these really complex flowers. Okay, so the metaverse greenhouse, this is really interesting because where's my video? It might be right here. This metaverse greenhouse, once you have your flower NFT here, you will get access to this is such a bummer. Oh, it's right here. Duh. You will get access to viewing your NFT in a digital greenhouse. And so this is the real life National Gallery in London is what this place is IRL. And so this is how it will look like in 3D. Totally overgrown, and you just can walk around and view all of the beautiful flowers.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, I just think that it's really, really stunning. I like the hybridization model. They've got a bunch of official partners. So I think some of these are projects where when I signed up for the allow list, if I owned one of these, it definitely upped, my chances of having a higher rank on the allow list because I was in like the 3000s. Really great team behind it. They definitely have taken some learnings from a few other projects. So they do talk, I think it might be in here, Crypto Kitties. They took some of the way that the technology works in that project and replicated it here. It's just the biggest difference is within this project, you don't, the number of NFTs is not finite. It remains the same, whether you create a hybrid or not. You always have to choose if you like the original one or a brand new one. But these drop on March 8th. So coming up really, really shortly, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And like they say, the allow list runs for 24 hours and then the remaining NFTs will be sold the next day. I haven't really found anything throughout. So this is an article that I came across on Design Boom, which is how I learned about the project. But I'm not seeing price anywhere on here. The biggest thing that led me to price was when I signed up for the allow list, and I think it required me to have 0.25 ETH in my wallet. So I'm wondering if that's mint price, which I
0.25.
25.
Ooh, that's
Which
hefty.
it's pretty steep. I feel like, I don't know, for what you're getting, it's kind of understandable, but again, it's not a proven project, so it's a little bit of a risk. But I wanted to share. I thought it was really, really beautiful, just very aesthetically pleasing. And if the price is right, like I think I would definitely try to ape in on it and create some hybrids. But also I'm just curious to see like, okay, so what is mint price? Where does the floor land and how much are people willing to spend to create the hybrids?
I think it's gorgeous. I think though it's a super risky bet. Like,
Yeah.
just expect that whatever money is there's a very high chance of going away that you put into it, because projects like this, predicting the hype around an artist in the digital space is very difficult. And it doesn't sound like there's much of like a community building thing happening around it, which is a big
Really,
driver for a lot of things. So
yeah, I think it's really just that gallery space, but what are you doing in that gallery space?
besides looking around, right? So, I mean, I think it's beautiful just as an art piece in general, but you have to be a huge art lover to do it.
So with that said, on our official glue sniff rating system, 1 meaning very little, minimal sniffs to purchase, all the way up to 3 sniffs, it's going to take a lot of glue sniffing for you to spend that money to buy in. Where are you at?
Considering, well, first of all, I don't like when a project is like you have to have a minimum amount in your wallet. Because a lot of people don't put any money in their hot wallet until they're ready to buy. So that makes me believe that they have a little bit of a misunderstanding of the Web3 space. So on top of that, I don't know how it's going to perform. I do think it's freaking beautiful. I'm going to go with 3 glue sniffs. It's going to take a lot of glue.
No shockers there.
How many sniffs for you?
I would say I'm probably a 3 sniff as well. Like, I think it's really beautiful, but once I start to create this hybrid, I think at the end of the day, it's just something beautiful. Like, I'd love to have it hanging on a digital frame, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like a ton of utility, but again, it's beautiful. So
if I had a giant digital frame and a flower motif in my mansion that I don't have, I would buy it so I could display it in there.
Yeah. Me too.
So that's that. And last but not least, let's chat about Elon Musk's latest antics on Twitter, because every week he has something.
He can't stop himself.
He can't stop himself. So this is just a funny tweet. So on February 26th, he tweeted out, having a bit of AI existential angst today. And then continued on to say that all things considered, he would rather be in his AI existential angst than not be alive to witness it. So I do find this rather hilarious, coming from somebody who owns a rather large company doing AI, because Tesla has a lot of AI, and Neuralink is like put a chip in someone's brain and see what we can do. Like, he's, I don't know, maybe he just had an epiphany about what is happening, is what seems to be going on here. And everybody is reporting that he is concerned about the wokeness of ChatGPT. Wokeness meaning that he has come to the realization that ChatGPT has a political slant and an opinion. So this is something that I've chatted with you about before, in just like text messaging with you. Like, does the general public understand that AI needs to be trained by human beings? And like, who are the human beings that are training the AI, specifically ChatGPT? What are their agendas? What are their backgrounds? What's their philosophy? What are their politics? There's so many factors that go into the source of truth for an artificial intelligence. Like, how it gets trained is something that is a task that I do not ever want to get into, because the thought of how to do that in a ethical way that won't go rogue sounds pretty much impossible to me, partially because humans are flawed. We are in a flawed world, according to every single religion on the planet. We all know this. We are in a fallen world, and we screw up all the time. And any human being who is going to train an AI or a group of human beings who's going to train an AI is going to screw it up inevitably, because that is our nature. That's just what we do. We have not reached perfection yet. I mean, I'm getting close, but not there yet. Anyway, so Elon Musk reportedly approached AI researchers in recent weeks about forming a new research lab to develop an alternative to ChatGPT. which I find hilarious because he is one of the founders of OpenAI, which is what is behind ChatGPT. He has left OpenAI a few years ago, I think, to focus on other things. But he was one of the people who founded it, who was like, I want to be working on this to make sure that an ethical AI is created. And now he is like, no, you're doing it wrong, and has blasted out this other tweet called based AI, which people are speculating might be like the name of his new AI that he is potentially working on that doesn't have any bias in it. And please, somebody tell me how you make an artificial intelligence with no bias, because I think it's impossible.
Yeah. I mean, we have issues with data that exists today. Like subsets of data are so not inclusive. So this is going to be tricky.
If you've ever gotten into some real nerdy things, like I have, I mean, I've gotten lots of nerdy things, but like theoretical mathematics and theoretical physics, like there's just so much bias even in math. Like there's just no way to create a intelligence that doesn't have
some level of bias.
Yeah, some level of bias. And they're all going to go rogue on you. Like ChatGPT has had problems with people asking it unsavory questions and it being like, yes, let me tell you how to make a BOMB. So like,
yeah.
What are you going to do?
We're living in the ex machina time.
Yeah, just enjoy your days, everyone, because they're numbered. Artificial intelligence is coming. We cannot stop it. Every billionaire on the planet is trying to create their own. And I feel like at some point they're going to pin them up against each other to see who comes out on top. And that's going to be where we reach the tipping point and
implodes.
It all goes wrong.
Yeah.
That was a really
on that note,
sad ending. I should have ended with Elon Musk and the AI rant.
He just needs to go take a nap.
Yeah. So I do hope that this show becomes more interactive. I feel like I should have paused at certain points to ask guys, like, what do you think? So now's a chance if anybody has anything to say or chime in.
Also our first time streaming to multiple platforms. So
yes, we are on
things out.
We're on Twitch now. If anybody wants to watch us on Twitch, I don't know how Twitch works, but we set it up and it's happening.
Probably Degens on Twitch.
Happening over there somehow. And we also have this set up to stream to Twitter somehow, but I've never seen anything stream to Twitter before. I'm not sure if it's happening.
I'm not convinced it's actually happening right now.
I'm not convinced it's happening either. So just to understand what's going on here, we are using a third-party tool called StreamYard, which allows us to stream on multiple platforms, and it doesn't really tell us if it's working or not. So
I mean, it shows
we just look afterwards.
3 green check marks up top, so I don't trust it. Though. Yeah, it's working.
I think it's working. I think people are here. We've had a few comments roll in.
Yeah, it's working.
So
great.
That's it. That's the show for the day. Thank you for joining. And we're probably going to start doing more live streams weekly. We typically, for like almost 9 months now, I think, 10 months, I don't know how long, we've been doing edited video content that we put out on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And we just feel like we can't edit fast enough for the space in that format. And we want to talk about a lot of things at once. So we're going to try out this live stream thing and hopefully it goes well. And if not, we'll think of another way to do content. But we're open to your ideas.
We're building.
We're building. And we are out of here for the day. So
bye.
See you next time.